Hi, it's Latrice with Purposefully Living. I pray you are having a wonderful, wonderful morning. Listen, it is Fit Friday, and I just want to encourage you. And you might be saying, Latrice, Lord, you log on. Girl, you got Motivational Monday, Fit Friday. What is Fit Friday? Fit Friday is encouraging you to push. You got one more push to be focused, to be intentional, to be tenacious, to stay focused, to stay intentional, to stay tenacious, to get focused, to get intentional, to get tenacious. Because maybe you ain't staying, you haven't even started. So here's the thing. I always say Motivational Monday. Listen, that end of the week, the beginning of the week, we're focused. Last week we know the things that went well, didn't go well, however it went. And so I think a lot of times Mondays is like that gear up. Okay, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna plan. But Wednesday, is midweek. You like, ooh, I'm halfway there. Friday, a lot of times we're like, thank God it's Friday. I do whatever I want. That's why I'm here. Because my point is, a lot of times on Friday we let it down. It's been a week. So we like, I don't care. I'm gonna give up. We give in. And what I want you to remember, and I'm talking in sense of goals, and I'm talking in the sense of staying focused, because a lot of times, let's just go on the health route. Maybe you've meal prepped and you've worked out, and don't get me wrong, we want to have a lifestyle. And so having a lifestyle sometimes means that, hey, today is a pizza day. I'm going to have me some pizza, but we can't undo everything. Don't go get you some pancakes, bacon, that good maple syrup. You know how you warm it up like my husband do? Warm it up, get it nice and warm. Pour it on the pancakes, some eggs, and a couple slices of crispy bacon. Then you're going to go to lunch and get you a good pizza, the 3-meat pizza. Then at dinner, you just done made a decision that a crab tray it is with a little bit of fried seafood. Like, hold on. That's about 5,000. Then you're going to have some dessert. That's what I'm talking about. No. We got to stay focused. What's the goal that we started with on Monday? Where are some pain points you have? How do we stay the course? Not give up, not throw in the towel, not throw away all of our hard work. And so that's life, right? And I'm just giving that example in health, but it could be in just maybe your reading or your writing, or maybe you're doing some development. You're going back to school and it's just been rough this week. The studying, the classes, the writing papers, and you like, I don't care. Listen, I'm going to wait till Sunday to do this paper. Don't do it. Go ahead and just do, if nothing else, one page, because that's one page closer to finish. So that's how Fit Friday is. When you think about being fit, you think about you tight and you're right. But listen, you don't just stay that way. You put work in every day to stay fit. And so it's reminding you to stay fit, to stay focused. But here's the thing, y'all always know there's a catch, because my Get Fit encourages you to get fit in Christ first and your goals second. Because I think it's easy. The world tells us, hey, be confident. You can do it. You can, we all things. That's how we think naturally. Listen, I'm the same way. You tell me what I can't do, I'm gonna tell you I can, and I'm gonna try to do it. Probably no, I can't do it, because that's that sometimes that side of us, that pride, and that we overly confident. But it's reminding ourselves that we actually can do more with and through Christ, that as we allow him to be the center, as we give him our food choices, as we say, God, this is a weakness and I'm struggling with this, but this is an area I know you've called me to, so I'm committing it to you so that you can help me transform and be the person that you're called me to be. So that's what Get Fit is. But I want to talk to you today. I've already told you how, with our goals, we're going to do this. We're going to pace. Look at your daily habits. And I keep saying this, your daily habits. That's one of the things that I want to encourage you with, and I want to keep before you. When you're trying to get fit, a lot of times we get frustrated and we give up easy because we're trying to do all things at one time. I'm going to stop drinking sodas. I'm not eating sugar. I'm not eating bread. I've cut out all meat. It's like, child, just the list itself depresses me. Soda don't bother me, but no meat, no drink, it's like, so sometimes it's just taking a little bit by little bit. Don't try to do it all at one time. And so that's really the process, your habits. Because when you make good habits, you start, if I could say, developing and cultivating good habits, and it's consistent, then you're going to start seeing discipline. And because now you've developed this habit and it's a part of your routine, then you can add one in and take one out. So it's honestly really in the little bit. It's not trying to do so many things at one time. And let me tell you, I live there because I am the so many things at one time. That's just me. I always got 22 things, and that's just me. But as I always say, being able to admit it is the first step. So I can admit it. But this is what I wanted to encourage you with on the spiritual side. So I want to call this marked, right? But not in the way that you're probably thinking. I want to call it marked, or marks. Marks might be the better title. And God gave me this and I love it. I have really been in the last week just reading and just really looking in 2 Corinthians and reading on David and thinking about weaknesses, right? And our strengths and transparency and all of this stuff. And so I thought about marks that we have. So naturally, I thought about who I am. I am my mother's child. If you know my mother, many call her Mama Faye, some call her Miss Faye. She is gorgeous. And I'm not just saying that because she's my mother. She's gorgeous. But one of the things my mom is known for really is her beauty. And I'm not just saying that. Like, people, wherever we go, they like, that's your mom. And I sometimes just be like, Mama, just pass all them genes down. But my mom, you have to know her. She is very big on, inside out care. She's very big about your water. And my mom has been through a whole transformation process, and that's a whole nother day for a whole nother story. But here's my point. Her skin is flawless, even when she don't wear makeup. And when I see her, it's just like smooth, right? And so I'm that person. My mom is like my consultant. So if I even get like one pimple, anything, I'm like, Mama, I'm calling her. What do I do? What do I put on there? Because that's just who she is. She's very big into face care. So I shouldn't say face, but just making sure, you have good skin. Your skin is tight. So my mom she's always been about a routine with her face. So my point is, I do not like marks. When I see anything, oh wait, I'm getting a blackhead or what, it like freak. I want my face smooth and clear, right? But I was thinking about spiritually how that's how we are. We don't want any marks, because when you think about it, a mark, it kind of, when people see like a pimple or something, they zero in and it's like, what's that? You got something on your face. And so you're a little embarrassed, or you try to cover things up. Or if you are one that had those, I know some people have the black lines under their eye, and you try to put that, because we want this clear, smooth image, right? But we do that spiritually. We don't want any marks. We want this clear, smooth, but actually our marks are so important, because our marks, if I could say, resemble transparency. They resemble healing. They resemble, and resemble is not the word I want to use. They're likened to the things that we've been through in our life. And I even thought about it in the sense of when you fall. I thought about my son, Miles. Anytime Miles gets a scrape, I don't care. It could be like so minimum. He wants like 2 Band-Aids. He is the Band-Aid kid. I don't know what it is. He just loves Band-Aids. And he'll be like, put a Band-Aid on it. And it's like, Miles, is a bump. It's not even a scrape. But can I put a Band-Aid on it? Why? But we want to cover up, and he just loved having a Band-Aid. But I remember one time my husband and I was telling him, like, you have to take it off. Like, if you really want it to heal, it needs the air, it needs to breathe. We're going to put something in it, but you need to feel that little bit of sharp pain. You need to let the peroxide get, like, we need to put some things on there so that it can properly heal. You keeping it covered up does not allow it heal. Y'all, I thought about that spiritually, how we spiritually like to walk around with a Band-Aid. And if you've ever kept a Band-Aid for long, especially when you're still doing stuff, it gets wet under there, and you're looking, it's still like pink, and it kind of still, because it's never getting any healing, because you can keep the Band-Aid for a minute, but then you need to turn it off. It needs the air. It needs the exposure. Y'all, we need exposure. Do you know other people need what you have, the exposure? And so I began to think about, oh my God, how important the marks are and how we don't need to be ashamed. Like on the natural side, you get that pimple, you trying to cover it up, but it's okay spiritually to have some pimples. It's okay spiritually to have some marks. If I could say your bruises, your war signs, because all it does is make us vulnerable, and our vulnerability is such a door opener for ministry and transparency. And so I just want to encourage you today it's okay to show your marks. Like, we need to see your marks. And here's what I thought about. I read this, and I want to read two things to you. In 2 Corinthians, this is the Message version, in verse 12, and this is Paul talking. He says, and let me go to where it starts. It says, I want to start at the right place so that I can read it to you. Okay. I was given, here it goes, because starting in verse 7, because of the extravagance of those revelations, and so I wouldn't get a big head, I was given the gift of a handicap to keep me in constant touch with my limitations. Satan's angels did his best to get me down. What he in fact did was push me to my knees. No danger then of walking around high and mighty. At first, I didn't think of it as a gift and begged God to remove it. 3 times I did that, and then he told me, my grace is enough. It's all you need. My strength comes into its own in your weaknesses. Once I heard that, I was glad to let it happen. I quit focusing on the handicap and began appreciating the gift. It was a case of Christ's strength moving in on my weaknesses. Now I take limitations in stride, and with good cheer. These limitations that cut me down to size, abuse, accidents, oppositions, bad breaks, I just let Christ take it over. Listen, is this not good? Let me say that again. These limitations that cut me down to size, abuse, accidents, opposition, bad breaks, I just let Christ take over. And so the weaker I get, the stronger I become. Y'all, that blessed me. And there's so many things in that 2 Corinthians 12. It's starting again at verse 7 in the Message version. But I love this because first of all, he said, listen, these things push me down to my knees. And that's what the Lord is after. He doesn't bring the things. The Lord don't make you sin. The Lord don't say, but God allows some things because he knows where we're going. He knows the development we need. He'll use anything. But ultimately, his desire is for us to be dependent on him. I think about as a mom, we raise our children to be independent. I pray that at 35 and 40, my child isn't back at my house saying, mama, take care of me. I'm praying. But we want them to be independent. As a parent, you're happy to see your child mold, and you're seeing them, the values that you put in them. You start seeing them, right? You seeing their personality develop. You're seeing the things that you felt like, I think they're going to be good. And so we're after independence, but God is actually the opposite. He wants dependence. He don't want you independent, because that's to say, oh, I got this, I'm on my own. But God actually wants your He wants your dependence. And so I love this because Paul said this thing pushed me to my knees and it took me out of danger. Oh, I got this. Because no, you don't. And he said, then I begged. I said, remove this from me. But God said, no, you're going to keep it and my grace is sufficient. And then he said, once I heard that, I was glad. I stopped focusing on that and started thanking God for the gift. And that is spiritual maturity. But going back to what I talked about, marks, is so important, those marks, because guess what? I thought about, I'll use Olivia, due to the surgery I had with her. I have a scar. I mean, it comes down, my where they had to cut me. It's a decent scar, pretty big, but not not like down my chest, but it's not no bikini cut. But every time I see that scar, it reminds me of what I've been through. It reminds me of how much a conqueror I am. It reminds me that man, I remember the state, all the stages, my abdomen and all the surgery I had. And it's like how far I've come. And so my point is, sometimes we want, like me in the natural, that beautiful skin and nothing wrong. And don't I have a blemish and no lines. But actually, when you see those bumps spiritually and you see the little scar and the mark, it's an ever-present reminder of God's faithfulness, of where you come, of his deliverance, of his strength in your weakest moments. I think about that surgery and so many times how the enemy wanted to kill me and my daughter, but we made it. But I got a scar. And listen, we don't like those scars to be shown, but it helps somebody else. And so take the Band-Aid off. Be willing to be transparent. Let somebody else ask about that cut, because that could be the door opener to their deliverance. That could be the door opener to their joy, to their strength, to them getting the help. Let the marks, it's okay to have some marks, because in those marks, y'all, could be a miracle for someone else. And I thought such a good example of that was Jacob. And I love how it talked about Jacob in this particular area, because we know Jacob was like a manipulator. He was a trickster, but he had this encounter with God and he wrestled with God. And the scripture talks about how he said, I'm not going to let you go until you bless me. It was an angel, but likened to God. But here's the thing. I love that I read in this study, it says that God grabbed Jacob's thigh and dislocated his hip. And it gave the background that the hip is one of the strongest areas on the body, right? And so it said God touched Jacob's strength point, and that strength point now became a weakness because he was going to be limping. Look, Jacob was going to walk around with a limp. And so I thought about how a lot of times the thing that we want to get rid of, we don't want nobody to know we're weak in that. That's what God wants to use. And so a lot of times, if you want God to use you and you want God to bless you, you got to be willing to limp. You got to be willing to bear all. Sometimes you got to be willing to show. You got to, like Jacob, he was going to have this ever-present reminder. God changed. He transformed him. He did some things, but that limp was going to always remind him of that encounter. It was going to always take him back that he's not of his own. He can't do everything in his strength. And that's what our mark. That's what our mark reminds us. So I wanted you to be proud today on Fit Friday. Maybe you have some bruises, but that's all right. Those bruises are beautiful. Those bruises someone needs to see, because it could be the very thing, the hope that they need, the deliverance, the help that they need. So I want you to be encouraged to be weak. That's the bottom line. It's okay to be weak. It's okay to be weak and allow God to be strong. And I want to end with this, because I think about anybody that knows me personally really well knows I am a crybaby. I am a crybaby. I can get very emotional. Even when I'm mad, I'm a cry, then I want to fight. But I cry, and I remember a period that I used to just, oh my God, I would talk to God. I'm serious about crying, because to me it was a sign of weakness. And I would be like, God, I don't want to cry. I'm sick and tired. Every time something happens, I cry. Why can't I be strong? Some people don't get moved by, nothing moves them, right? And I will never forget, long time ago, my pastor did a teaching on, it wasn't so much on purpose, but it was like knowing your calling, or I can't remember how she did it, but it was during a Bible study. But in that Bible study, things were talked about how when you do this, it means this. And if you have these character traits, it means this. And so it was just really good. But my point is, I remember she got to a point about those that cry a lot. And it was a term. But she said, you will find that people that are cry are very sincere people. They're very genuine. They feel others. They're very compassionate. And she started contrasting it with those that, not to say that if you don't cry, you don't have those things, but she was talking about those that, you predominantly, you cry, everything make you cry. You looking at a commercial and the tear come. I think she even talked about that. I was like, that's me. But when she began to explain it, I said, oh my God. And it was me. And I saw how much those tears are a gift from God, because he can trust me with someone's heart. He can trust me to be compassionate. He can trust me to feel, and I won't handle people any kind of way. And so there was so much that I realized, something that I had been asking God to take away from me, I need. It's part of my gift. So I just want to encourage you today. It's okay to have some marks. It's okay to have some bruises. It's okay to have weaknesses. Give it to God and watch what he's going to do. So stay fit, Stay focused, intentional, and tenacious, and watch God do some great things in your life. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.